Welcome to Sports CTO Talks. In today's episode, we would be discussing the future of sports ops, the culture, the tech, and impact in 2026. I am Ami, your guide on this journey through amazing mind with sports and technology leaders who are shaping the future of sports technology. Today, we are joined by Jainil Jaswara, CEO of Sports Insight Media. He has played cricket for 10 years and 5 years into the sports industry. He helps sports organize or automate operations, improve efficiency using AI. With a background in business analytics and AI engineering, Jainil works with teams, academies, and sports businesses to integrate smart technologies for smarter operations. We welcome you, Jainil, to the podcast.
Thank you. Thank you. It's been my pleasure.
So, my first question is, sports operations has traditionally been built on instincts, relationships, experience, the eye test culture basically. So, as AI driven decision making tools became mainstream in 2026, how have the organizations managed the cultural tension between the data and the veteran operators, who are building careers, or, it is just a gut feel?
Yeah, so this is the most important question initially when we are working and we face on day-to-day basis, because all the industry leaders or all the even in the grassroots sports, the people who are the decision makers are of the age between 35 plus people, and they are very much veteran with all their own methodologies. They have worked in industry, so they have the fixed mindset. Okay, this is how the thing works. But all these new technologies um, makes makes a difficult decision for them to adjust. Okay, if this is good and this makes it fast, is it really efficient? So for all the Gen Zs, I belong to Gen Z. I personally believe the attention, and if you can get the things quicker, it's giving you the results. But I personally feel after working with across clients, nobody is actually right. So there is no right and wrong for this answer. It's always about how you treat the data is really important. If you treat the data just as a tool, then it makes sense. But if you are only relying on the data and the AI tech part, then it's a problem. So the very good example, I was working with one of the football coach. He asked me that, can you create me something which I can show to the club and how they can improve their uh, f- the passing rate
Hmm.
and build out a proper dashboard. 100% everything is, you can clearly see it up. But ultimately, at the end of the day, he told that based on this, the data is correct, but I cannot say this thing, if you improve in the sport, makes a big impact. So yeah, this type of challenges on how well we play with the data and the veterans who are working is been the key. But they are also understanding that it's very important to cope up with technology.
Absolutely, that I agree. So the tech adoption, as you said, everyone needs to cope up with that. Tech adoption in sports operation means different things at different levels. A Premier League club and semi-professional franchisee live in entirely different technology realities. So how do you prevent the convergence of tech and sports operations from becoming, yet another axis along which the rich get richer and the gap between the elite and the emerging or the ground root level sports properties, they keep on widening.
Yeah. Good question. The main part again comes about how much budget both organization have. If let's say a Premier League club versus a normal local footy club in Victoria will have a different budget, will have a different way of how they use the technology. A Premier club will have the budget to hire senior analyst, senior scouting team. They will have direct partnership with the tech giants like Google, AWS. Now, in currently you see IPL. IPL has
Yes.
Google Gemini, right? So they have the budget to spend. But let's say a normal league or normal club in Victoria or India or any part of the world, uh, how does the operational works? They have one Google Drive. They have a coach who does the WhatsApp communication part, but they are also using the tech. But the rich gets richer, poor gets poor. That's the bridge. Even sports inside media, we are trying to bridge that. The technology remains the core part. How you use it is the main thing. Because all the main tools like Claude, ChatGPT, all the big players are also using. They use at a different capacity. They use at a better plan, premium plan, in compared to a lower one. So yeah, it's just about the knowledge part. And I personally feel after 10 years, this question, okay, about A League players are at this stage, A League businesses are at this stage, and the lower one at different stage. Both will have the same technological advantage, but it's just about how you copy it up.
Okay. So the transfer and the recruitment, like when you talk about it is going to change and evolve in the next 10 years. So the recruitment market has radically transformed by data
Hmm.
scouting platforms, video AI, the predictive performance modeling. But elite players and agents are becoming more sophisticated consumers of the same data. So how is
Hmm.
the information asymmetry between clubs and players shifting? And what does that mean for negotiations, contracts, the rooster construction, going forward?
Yeah, that's correct. I'll give you a model of IPL, how it used to work when IPL started in 2008. Lalit Modi has introduced this game where he bring all the foreign players into it. There was no big type of a contract thing. It was just to create the entertainment buzz to make all the players come. The example of an IPL is in earlier times, all these agencies were mainly focused on the game part. But in today's time, it's been more commercialized way because it's been privatization a lot. The way BBL is also talking right now about how
Correct.
can they privatize leagues, rather than taking power from the center, Cricket Australia, bring in on individual investors and bring more agencies to run the show. The same example goes with EPL. They represent the top players, but they are very smart with all this tech. So EPL agencies, European Premier League agencies, go to the clubs that uh, they taken data from data companies like Statesbomb, Opta, that this is the real player data because all this tech has really got advanced. They come up with different metrics, and then agencies pitch like for this scenario, this player is the best, and they charge 10x, 15x. So yeah, technology has its own advantage, but the key part is still missing on this part.
Okay. And when, one side is technology and the other is, when we talk about mental health, the athlete well-being have become, central pillars of the modern sports operation strategies. But there's a risk that these initiatives are becoming more performative. So, how do organizations distinguish between the genuine culture change from just, well-being theater, or how do you measure the impact in something so deeply, and it has to be very personal?
In today's times, when we normally see how all these sports leagues, sports, even the sports team formation, when they talk about sustainability, well-being, the common question comes. There's always fancy words put out in the group that we are making some wellness group. We'll do some. There's some wellness app you be a part of. It's like a self-reflection. The players give it, but to be very honest, let's say because I was a player when I used to play cricket, my mental state when I was playing, if I'm not scoring, is very different. I want to be able to write 10 question answers, okay, how I'm feeling. It has to be one on one personal. And at that stage, the human is very important. when there is talk about culture, sustainability, or any part, the human connection, the coach is the one who will guide him. If I'm getting out on 0 to 10, how I can score from 10 to 30. The data points show, but data is again the tool part. It's ultimately the human who is mainly controlling it out.
Okay. The globalization of sports roosters means operation teams are managing athletes across vastly different cultural backgrounds, languages, and there are a lot of expectations. So what operations and human intelligence skills are most urgently required or needed in sports organizations, but they're still struggling with it.
I think one of the questions you asked earlier was, I, I can relate to the same answer which I would like to say. Uh, again, the part of the agencies where you mentioned that the scouting has become a so long procedure. Uh, let's say example of Mumbai Indians. Mumbai Indians play in 4 to 5 different leagues. They play during IPL. They also are in SA T20. They also play 2 to 3 different leagues, one in Abu Dhabi. How do the scouting works? How do players, they rely on tech and AI, but how well you are connecting with players, because you're ultimately going to sign that 100 to 200 group of bunch of players. How well you communicate with them? Are you able to take 1 year commitment, because they will also have the national duties? Same goes with any other sports. Let's say for boxing, uh, if you have multiple leagues all around going in the world, how well are you trying to manage it up? So the rostering is the main thing which agencies also need to look on, not just asking, because for them it's like a money model for them. But considering it's a sport, it has to be connected with how efficient a player wants to perform.
So how honest do you think are sports organizations about their operation processes, the
Hmm.
culture and the impact what it is creating on the athlete in today's time?
It's a good question. In earlier, it used to be really good uh, till 2021, before the COVID time, when it was more human centric. I'm coming from a Gen Z part, but I have a look that when the relationship between players, teams, businesses were really good, because player wants to perform at the best. Businesses used to be upfront in the organization. All the pay scale and everything for the players were clearly given. All the sponsors were given the equal opportunity. All the people who are working behind the scenes, like the sports freelancers, they used to be properly treated well. But in today's times, due to it has become a commercialized business, like everything is a business. um how well a league can perform, how you treat the freelancers is not the same. I've seen within close eye that sports freelancers were working really hard, but they, at the end of the day, they are not getting paid, and they are like, they get frustration because it's the social media is a free world. Everybody feels that they are the ones who are the best in the business, so they put it out. But their point is also the valid, because the operational part is becoming more challenges because of over explosion of leaks. Everybody has cracked that one money model of how well a leak can run, and everybody is doing it up. So the demand is in the problem.
Okay. There are youth development academies also, which are running on the same data sophistication as senior operations. So,
Hmm.
what are the ethical boundaries of performance technology when applied to minors? And are those sports organizations considering long-term consequences of optimizing the children through the data?
Yes, so for this answer, is sports organization, even in the mid level or grassroots level, have started using the technologies which can ultimately help the players to grow. I'll give an example. the place where when I land in Australia, when I was doing my first internship, it was Cricket Performance Lab. There are multiple companies like Cricket Performance Lab. What they do, they give the back fittings. It's a cricket tech product, but they have made it for the pro players and even for the grassroots players. Their
Mm.
goal was how can they help. Same goes with that a couple of other technologies like bat maker, sensor based technologies. There's something called as full track AI. Again, goes with cricket. How well you analyze your swing. So all these small technologies is specifically built for all the grassroots level of sports, and that is very important. Sports organizations have started taking action, but again, it comes about they are so advanced in tech, they cannot keep the pricing level the same thing because they have really good tech. For that to run that tech, on the cost to run the tech is so high, correct? The normal let's say grassroots player won't be able to pay that much. Let's say 1,500 $2,000. Not a normal player will give. If he is playing at a high level player, he he might be, but not at a lower stage.
So, what are the sports or operation workforce like? Is it changing when we involve the data scientists, the behavioral psychologists, the tech product managers, as we are discussing, and now working alongside with the coaches, the physiotherapists. So, how are sports organizations rethinking the leadership structures and decision making hierarchies to integrate these new roles without creating, the dysfunction or without creating some disbalance into the ecosystem?
That's a good question. I think sports organizations are already recruiting this. Sports organizations are trying to spend all this budget on all the analytical part. And the reason behind is the game has become so advanced in terms of you get so many different angles of how you look at the game. The game is again about the how it's about the perspective. The coach is always looking at one certain perspective, but if the team is not performing well, uh, what's the another perspective he can get? And for that, they are hiring scouting analysis, match day analysis, post analysis, and all the different part to just get another perspective. And even for let's say sports business owners, let's say if they are running an a team, let's say in any other sport, they want to see this is a coach angle, which is a subjective score. Okay, coach, how he is able to speak, what are the 10 different metrics for the same scenario can be done, and then he can make a better decision. So yeah, people, the sports organization are already making a huge investments. Even the sports businesses was recently started at putting much more uh, money bracket on all the analytical part. They are hiring smart people. And in terms of the AI replacing job, no, never. AI is the way computers were invented. The jobs were more. It's the same. The AI and tech and all these angles are going to create more opportunities for people if you have the skill to do it.
Correct. And when we talk about AI, there's another angle, the impact, the social, community, environmental. It has become central to how sports organizations represent themselves. It can be on social media,
Yes.
it can be to the public. So, what would genuinely rigorous, independent, verifiable impact framework, for a sports organization look like? And why hasn't the industry converged on one yet?
The industry has not converged on one yet because there are a lot industry believes the sports organization because they need to adapt to rapid change. But if they keep the key fundamentals along, which is it is made by humans, ultimately AI is something, it is somewhere built by some human. It's just about one perspective is getting it up. So all the tech and AI, the new technology is supposed to come in next 5 7 years, but the CSR part for any sports organization or sports businesses, it's the human centric. Humans are the one who need to make decision. If you are making AI to make the final decision for you, then I think in the long run it will be a problem, because it will create a conflict against your thought. Because let's say a chat gpt, in my business I always tell them to my team, it's always yes man. Chat gpt is something we always, it always gives you yes. It never tells you no, this is wrong. But same goes with perplexity. It also, it clearly says you know that this is wrong and this is right. So you get confused. So for the csr part, again, for the sports organization, the human touch is very very important, and it is going to be, if humans are there in that organization, that's the attention driven thing.
What is the single most, underappreciated operational challenge facing sports organizations till now? And what do you see that it's going to continue even in 2026? And that almost nobody is talking about it. And what would solving it require?
I'll talk from mid-level and grassroots level sports, because that's my biggest target audience. I normally, the way they think is the technology is going to change everything. But the
Hmm.
biggest problem in current mindset is they feel that technology is so rapidly growing, they are still lacking behind, and they don't want to change the current system, because all their operational part, they are so aligned to one system and one methodology. The mindset shift is very very important. More than a technological shift, the mindset shift in the local, how well you work with that technology is possible. Very much stagnant in terms of how they operate in certain parameters. Once the mindset shift comes, it is going to be a banger. Not just AI is just one part. There are lots of different elements which is going to come in next 5 7 years, who knows. But to have that quick mindset shift is very much lacking right now, in terms of all these technologies which are coming up.
How should sports organizations rethink, their models, the stress test them against a future where fan attention is structurally shorter, more
Hmm.
fragmented than the revenue models currently assume, especially given the fan attendance, the live event revenues have
Hmm.
rebounded strongly the post-pandemic phase. But engagement data tells a more complicated story, honestly, with declining live viewing duration, the younger fans questioning the value of in-stadium experience. Like there are so many things. So what to do on that?
Attention is the game. You, as you mentioned in the question, that attention has got short lived. The, even the normal, or even in the sports organizations, people want to get everything so fast. The 10 minutes delivery concept, it's very much booming in India. The same is coming in Australia. There are a couple of new startups I have recently mentioned. All this 10 minutes thing, even in the stadiums, they want to get so interesting, all the different angles, and they want to create. But is it going to be a long run thing? Maybe. It's, there's a no definite answer. There's when a family is going to watch a game, what are the different factors they see? They want to really watch the game. If you are keeping 15 entertainment factors apart from the game, it will be just an entertainment show, not a sports game. That's the main thing. So sports has to be playing properly. You should not include much more entertainment just to grab more attention. The way, if you see recently the Sri Lankan cricket, what they have done, that to get into the A list category, you must have 350,000 plus followers. That is
Mhm.
completely rubbish. So how well this sports organization works, you see,
Yes.
people who has much more following, which bring much more business. So is it a really strong thing? I don't think so. So yeah, the sport has to remain the sport. And all this entertainment part and everything, you can do it outside, but not into the sport.
One last question, Jainil, into this segment is how do you see 2026? Like 6 months are remaining, or early of 2027, shaping up into operations, the tech, the culture, and the impact of that into sports.
How do I see? There's lots of new technologies in terms of, for any new problem which comes up, there's a new technology coming up. It's for, let's say, for someone who has no technical experience, who is a typical coach, or who is a typical person who is normally does business in sports. It is for them. Don't focus on what's coming new. Don't, if you are reading out the news, because we always get lots of news. Okay, this generative AI has been arrived, this agentic AI, but how much really it makes difference to your business? You should first develop in minds the mindset part against come here. 2026, not just 2027. Next for 5 years, how well you can adapt about what's the new product and how well I can use them. Like it's like a chicken and egg, right? There are
Yes.
lots of different problems coming it up. Lots of new tools are coming it up, but does it really useful for me? Is it really useful? That's very important. So yeah, mindset shift is something we should all focus in upcoming years.
Absolutely. We'll move on to the next segment, Jainil. That's the rapid fire round. I'll ask you a few questions and you'll have to be very quick in answering. It can be one
I'll
word
try
or
it.
one sentence.
I'll try my best. Let's
Okay.
see.
AI scouting tool or human chief scouts? Which one will sign off on final recruitment decisions by 2030?
2030. AI is counting tool.
Okay. Most overhyped technology in sports operations right now. We are training, generative AI coaching, or metaverse fan experiences.
Metaverse fun experience. Like you cannot, you need to get experience to be on the ground.
Absolutely. Finish this sentence. When sports organizations say putting athletes first,
Putting athletes first alongside with people who are working behind the scenes.
what one role will every serious sports organization have in its chart in next 5 years that barely exists today?
The mindset shift of adopting AI and seeing that is it really possible for me to integrate this and not think, okay, all AI game is just for me.
Perfect. Bigger threats to sports ops excellence, the talent war for data and talent professionals, or the cultural resistance within organization that slows progress.
Cultural resistance for sports organizations. Yeah, human touch is really important.
It is, it is. We'll move on to the next segment. That is, you'll have to answer one question into 30 seconds. What is the role of AI into sports operations? It can include the tech, the culture, the impact into 2026.
2026, what one role can AI do? AI can do things faster than you think. That's the most, and that's a one golden nugget which I have personally used. Whatever you think, just try to execute with AI. If you're not able to execute the same thought in next 2 hours, you're already lacking behind, because the same thought of how you can integrate AI in sports will be get by someone else. So you need to implement, and AI is so fast, it's harder than you imagine it's working out. So yeah, that's the thing.
Thank you, Jainil, for your time and joining us today on the podcast.
Thank you so much.
So, everyone, let's stay connected for more understanding on sports and technology. We will meet in the next episode next week. Please share your comments if you want to talk to Jainil or me. If you're building anything new into the sports industry, please comment and we will both get back to you. We will meet in the next week. Until then, stay curious, stay inspired, and keep exploring.